We continue to track the path of Hurricane Fiona, now hitting the Turks and Caicos as a Category 3 storm. These are pictures from earlier as it slammed Puerto Rico. The storm also battered eastern Dominican Republic over the weekend. I'm joined now by the CBC's Magda Gabricelesa in Washington. So Magda, what's the latest on Hurricane Fiona?
Well, you mentioned the Dominican Republic there. So Hurricane Fiona slamming into the Dominican Republic, strong winds, flash flooding, really destroying homes and cutting off a number of villages. You had hundreds of people that have seek safety at some of the shelters that have been set up there. And more than 1 million households don't have access to water right now. Now, before that, Fiona hit Puerto Rico very hard. About 1,000 people had to be rescued by crews. We know that power is still down for some 90% of the people. And there, too, much of the population has no access to clean water because what was happening is with all of the flooding, some of the water filtration plants were overwhelmed. So they're still trying to get clean water to a lot of the population there. And the governor says it could be days before all of this is restored. Here's more from him on what the focus is right now.
We're still in the middle of this event. We're basically responding at this point. The next step will be recovery. We're not there yet.
Now, this comes on the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Maria. And back then, of course, 3,000 lives were taken, or 3,000 people were killed. The recovery, in a lot of ways, is still going on from Hurricane Maria. We know that there are still some homes in Puerto Rico covered in blue tarps that are still in need of repairs. And when it comes to the electric grid, they're still trying to stable things out with the electric grid. But since then, we do know that the people, the businesses, and the authorities have really been preparing to get prepared for future storms. And there were some hard lessons that were learned. We did hear from one major general that's part of the response effort for Fiona, and he said that they really had the equipment and the personnel spread out across Puerto Rico 3 days before this hurricane hit land.
We'll have over 100 troopers from the New York State Police Department on their way to Puerto Rico over this next week. And as the need continues to arise, we'll be ready to offer other resources and support.
Okay, so that there was the governor of New York, and she was talking a little bit about what New York is willing to do to help in this case. We do know that the U.S. is stepping up. President Joe Biden declared this a federal emergency, and he was actually on the phone with the governor of Puerto Rico yesterday, committing to keeping the aid coming. And with the response and the recovery, actually, we know that about 300 federal personnel have been chipping in, and the administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency is going to be in Puerto Rico today, getting a closer look at what is going on and what needs to be done going forward. And as you heard there from the governor of New York, she's doing her part to send people down there to help as long as there is a need. And right now, there is going to be a need for quite some time because, as we've heard, it's going to take several days to restore power to most of the people in Puerto Rico. And that doesn't even take a look at the fact that there's going to have to be a cleanup and getting people back in their homes. So there's no clear sense of when things will return back to normal.
Okay, Magda, thank you so much for all of this. Of course, quite a desperate situation that people in that area are experiencing right now, so we do appreciate the update.
You're welcome.
CBC's Magda Gabricelesa for us.